Hello, dear friends. My name is Savik Schuster, and we begin the preview of today's semifinal, Netherlands-England. Probably it's the most difficult preview. Most difficult preview because I'm just going to tell you a few just a few statistical things. Netherlands scored 9 goals. England scored 5 goals. Netherlands had 5 goals against. England had 3 goals against. Netherlands had, in those 5 games, 20 shots on target out of 74 shots altogether. 15 shots on target had England out of 57 shots. And, too many numbers, I know, are very disturbing because nobody keeps attention. But I have many people, our viewers, who ask the question, why is England playing as it is? That is very mediocre. What's the reason? Is it the manager Gareth Southgate? Is it something else? Is it the tiredness of the players? And you cannot answer a question like that in a very, very short manner. You have to delve into some details. You have to sort of, you have to illustrate what you're saying, because I don't think you're going to believe every hypothesis that I'm going to put forward to you. So that's why I want to start from England today, because England doesn't look on paper as a favorite team. Also because Netherlands didn't play one overtime and England played all overtimes. And even the game against Switzerland, England won, as you remember, on penalties. So as far as physical expenditure and psychological and nervous expenditure, England spent more. And obviously, it has to be fresh today, and very fresh today. On the other hand, on paper, if you try to compare the two lineups, basically no comparison. England has a lot more talent. So why? Why is it happening? Why is England playing on the verge of losing very many games? Now, I will not show you the game with Serbia, the first game, which I think the first game is always a very difficult game for any team. But we can have a look. We can have a look just very quickly. Even not, I'm not going to tire you with that. Gareth Southgate was experimenting basically with the midfield, because Gareth Southgate is playing 4-2-3-1. What does it mean? Or he played, not anymore, but he played. What does it mean? That you have 2 central defenders, which is important, 2 defenders, and you have 2 midfielders. The backs, right or left, of course, we're going as much as possible up front, and they basically they add to the midfield line. Bellingham, in theory, should be playing between the lines between midfield and Kane and Harry Kane, who is the only forward, center forward. But Saka and Foden basically should cover the flanks. Everything seems to be very logical. But those two players, who is playing with Rice? Question, because Rice played in every game. In the first game, Gareth Southgate experimented with Alexander Arnold. What did he expect? He expected that Alexander Arnold, he has a good, long, precise pass, and he could change sides. He could quickly change sides, but that did not happen. Alexander Arnold played basically short passes, and not many of them. They didn't find the common language of Rice. So the next experiment was Gallagher from Chelsea. It didn't work again. They didn't find, I mean, there was no chemistry. So now it's Mainoo, the 19-year-old from Manchester United. Oh, well, things are a little bit better. But what did Southgate do? If we look the last two matches of both teams, it's July 6th, both teams playing the quarterfinal. Just bear with me, please, because it takes a little bit of time. Here we go. And of course, for some mysterious reason, it happens as usual. When you need it, it doesn't work. Maybe now it will work. Let's hope. Let's hope. Gareth Southgate, he switched to the same men, but a different tactical scheme. 3 defenders. Kyle Walker, who's a right back, basically he was playing right center. So you had 3 defenders. Now, just 1 second, because I think I'm getting to it. It's here, and here you can see the graphics. It's against, it's loading. It's a game against Switzerland, and don't pay attention to the Swiss formation lineup. So here you see this is England playing 3. Konsa was playing because Mike Gay was suspended. Stones in the center, and Kyle Walker right center. So basically, on paper, it looked midfield composed of 4 people, 4 players: Saka, Mainoo, Rice, and Trippier. Bellingham and Foden were supposed to play basically between midfield and Harry Kane. Now, the difference of this system from a previous one really didn't give any serious results. On the contrary, I mean, England, if not the goal of Saka on the 80th minute, and the goal was absolutely an individual masterpiece, so England would be out. England could be out in the game with Slovakia, where if not Bellingham's genius, absolute genius, 30 seconds before the end of a regular time, did not score that equalizing goal, England would be out. if 2 minutes after the beginning of the first additional 15 minutes, Harry Kane wouldn't have scored, left alone in the box, England, I don't know what would have happened. It may have had to leave the tournament. So I mean, this system didn't really change anything, and apparently Gareth Southgate is going to play exactly the same way against the Dutch. Only one thing I'll show you so that I don't tire you, because it's enough that I tire myself, because I'm trying to analyze everything that that is in my possession, and the passing patterns and the individual performances. So believe me, certain things I will be telling you without proving it on picture. But here I want just to show you one thing. Here, let's cancel England and Switzerland, and just let's have a look at Harry Kane. Just at Harry Kane. Center forward. Look what's happening. I mean, he in opposition's penalty box, he's very rare. He plays in a position of which basically Bellingham is supposed to play. If you let's add to him Bellingham. Well, Bellingham covers quite a bit, a lot. He is really the key player of England. And if you add to them Foden, who is not in great shape now, he's not in great form. I mean, we are talking that these three players, again, you see, these three players, they cover a lot. Not Harry Kane. They cover a lot, but they're not dangerous. They don't fill up the penalty box of the opponent. We are talking about three players. One of them is best in Germany, the other is best in Spain, the third one is best in England. So actually, Gareth Southgate has to really think seriously about it. I understand that it's very difficult to sacrifice Harry Kane, because Harry Kane can resolve a match in 1 second. I mean, it's a guy who scored 43 goals in 42 matches, or 44 and 43 matches in Bundesliga. I mean, or in general for Bayern Munich, not only in Bundesliga. But something has to be sacrificed in order to strengthen the midfield, because you don't have a companion for Declan Rice, and if you do, they're very, very similar. You see, I said before the match with Slovakia that if Lobotka were to play for England, England would be in final. Imagine if Rodri played for England together with Declan Rice. So it would be a different England. But England doesn't have a player like this. It doesn't have a player like this. But it has players in very good form. We've seen Graham. He's in very good form. It's not enough, to take 4-2-3-1, make of it 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 with exactly the same faces, and apparently things are going to change. No, it will not happen like that. It will not happen like that. If you feel as a manager, you work with them every day, and if you feel that people after such a difficult and long season have lost their form, they're not at maximum, but there are other people who are at maximum, it's better to play with our people who are at maximum, because they'll give you more. What England lacks, and it's evident to everybody, and you can see it, it's intensity and speed. To get intensity and speed, you have to have numerical superiority in midfield, one. You have to build up from low, starting from a goalkeeper, no long balls. You have to have a very high backline, high, so it blocks the opponent in the area of the midfield. It's risky, very risky, but if you want to be quick and if you want to be intense, you have to risk, no other choice. And you have to have a high pressing, that is a collective high pressing. The moment you don't let your opponent easily leave its midfield. So that means it's box, then it's defensive area, and then the midfield. You have to apply a high pressing. So all the attacking players have to go into the pressing. And you have to try and regain the ball very quickly after you lose it. Those are key factors. And you need players who are able to do that. And players who are of lower class, but in better physical shape, and they're still national team players, they have to perform this. If they don't perform this, they're not going to win matches. And on the same day, say now we'll look at Netherlands. Netherlands here, they'll probably also play more or less the same formation. Now here we have, they'll play 4 in the back as we usually do. Ronald Koeman is sort of, he's not the word conservative, which is not applicable to him, but he likes to choose the team and to play with that team and really sort of install his footballing values into them. So his views, how the team should play. I'm not that sure that Gareth Southgate exactly knows how he wants England to play. I'm not sure about it at all. But Ronald Koeman certainly does. Absolutely certainly. So Ake on the left, the Manchester City player, is coming back. And as Pep Guardiola said, he's a fantastically versatile player. He's a player who in defense covers very well the far post. We see here the far post, if a corner is from here, so the far post is this, I mean, the near port is this, that you understand. He covers very well, and he is very good in transition. He helps attack a lot, and he hasn't played last. He was substituted. He had a slight injury, so now he's back, and that's very important. Well, Van Dijk, we know. Van Dijk is captain of Holland and skipper of Liverpool. As far as De Vries is concerned, he's having his Indian summer, as we say, because he's playing wonderfully well in this tournament. And we have Dumfries. Now, okay, Schouten and Reinders, he has no choice. He's lost before. Koeman, he's lost before the tournament very important midfielders, De Jong and Koopmeiners, but these two, they play all the time. And Javi Simons is actually, he's a wing player, but that again, he doesn't have another kind of a player who could play between the lines, between the attack and midfield. So in the center. So Javi Simons, I mean, he is not, you know, he's not great, but he's efficient enough. And Gakpo from Liverpool and Depay are playing in attack. The biggest question is this guy. You know, this guy. It's I mean, there is in Dutch press. I mean, everybody talks about him because nobody likes him. It's Steven Bergwijn. He plays in Ajax. Now, if you want to have a look, if you just, we'll go back to the heat map for a second. Sorry, again, I'm going to bother you with tactical, and you get Netherlands and you get Turkey away, and you take Bergwijn. Here he is. Yeah. Well, this is the area that he covers on the right side. He plays close to the penalty box. He doesn't get in there very often. He plays exactly between midfield and attack. But if you add to that Dumfries, let's have a look what will happen. You see? I mean, they form a couple. That means he allows Dumfries to play attacking football. Dumfries is, I mean, he's an average defender, but he's good in attack. In defense, in Inter Milan or in a Dutch national team, as a defender, I see defects in him. But as a player who pushes forward, who is physically very strong, and he is a tall guy, he can play in box on high balls. So this is why he does it. Koeman does it. That's why he plays him, and it's very difficult for Dutch newspaper readers and in general football fans and you know football experts to explain it on words. You have to sort of, you know, you have to show them. I don't think that Koeman has time to show it to them. And then, well, so Holland is going to playing that way. Holland is going to play its usual game, a careful game, not trying to push immediately England. I don't think so. That will start very quick. It won't be like yesterday. I don't think that on the first minutes we'll have a goal. Colomoni scored. So England has to be, I think, England has to be England. The football that is played in Premier League is not played anywhere else because of the intensity and because of the speed. From team number 20 to team number 1. So that is what Gareth Southgate has to aim for in order to win this game. And England is absolutely capable of winning this game. And then the final comes, if it comes again, in Berlin on Sunday. Spain maybe, well, I'll say for somebody may be a heresy, but Spain may be for England easier than Holland, because Holland adapts to its opponent. Spain plays its own game no matter what. They don't care. France scores a goal, the Spanish don't care. They play as if nothing happened, and they scored 2 in 4 minutes. With them, maybe for England, it's going to be easier. But with Holland, it's going to be very difficult, because Holland is very adaptable to the opponent, and that's a philosophy of their manager, Ronald Koeman. So that's why I say this was a very difficult match to analyze and predict, which, you know, my intuition tells me it must be England, but my rational thinking tells me that Holland has its chances. So let's see what happens, and I'll see you before the final on Sunday, and I hope that we'll dedicate a lot of time to England. Thank you, and see you soon.